Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing amazing. I am live, I think. If you can hear me down below, just drop a I can hear you. So that way I know that you can hear me and what I'm saying. And I wanted to come live today to talk really about the number one reason why people tend to be unsuccessful. And it's something I see a lot. It has nothing to do with like shiny objects or some crazy system or anything like that. It's just like one simple thing that people don't focus on, they don't do, and they develop reasons as to why they can convince themselves as to why it's not important to do or why they shouldn't do it. And so if you need help growing and scaling your heart-centered business, just drop a help down below and I'll see if I can help you. But what I wanted to really dive into was the reason why people are unsuccessful. And so I was reading a book, and it's a really good book. It's called The Road Less Stupid. And one of the things that's said in there, and I think it's The Road Less Stupid, but one of the things that's said in there is the signature of chronic mediocrity is inconsistency. And so what I see with people who are chronically unsuccessful, are chronically like complaining that the world's against them, that are chronically unable to figure it out, chronically unable to get there. I see it in the people who go through like 9 different coaching programs and can't really get results. And it's inconsistency. And what it is we get into this mindset to where we're searching for the shiny thing. We're searching for the new method. It's like, ooh, this guy has this new thing and he has this client who's successful. And oh, this guy has this thing over there. Or if you're a health coach, it's like, ooh, these clients are following this diet. Oh, they're doing this thing. Oh, I have to go get this level 1 certification. Oh, and I can get this level 39 certification. And if I get the level 27 certification over there, then that's what I need to be successful. So once I get 575 certifications and work with 17 coaches, that's when I'll be ready to go. But the problem with this is along the way, you're learning 27 different methods, you're learning a million different things, and you tend to get pulled all over the place. And so what I really found that works well in trying to become my shirts rival my hair for perfection. You're right. One thing that's important about these broadcasts is your shirts and your hair and your face have to be on point and vogue in order to be successful. Vogue. So when I go on, I always do this to make sure that my hair like looks really good. And then I can rub my fingers through my hair nowadays. So hopefully that was helpful. Where does one buy said shirts? I believe I bought this one. I actually have a subscription box to shirts, and they send me like shirts and clothes, and it's my whole outfit and it's done for me and I don't even have to worry about it. But the thing that I was kind of driving into is chronic inconsistency and inability to be successful is because we want to follow 800 different methods. We want the latest diet. We want 700 certifications. We want the next business coach. And something I was thinking about recently, and I can tell you this because I've gone through it in the past, is if you decided to put $10,000 into Facebook ads and just test, straight up, just test $10,000 and work through it, you develop a pretty awesome system for Facebook ads. You'd figure it out in your first 1,000, your first 2,000. All of a sudden, you'd have this badass system you developed, but you put 10 grand and invested into building that. And all it is just like run one thing, didn't work, run another thing, didn't work, run another thing, didn't work. And you do it over and over and over again until you develop the capacity to create something that's replicatable. And this is the alternative to that is pay $10,000 to a business coach who may or may not be able to help you. And if you wasted that money, well, the money's gone. But at least if you followed one process and one strategy and you put like 10K into Facebook ads, you develop an actual system of what works and what doesn't based on what you knew and what you didn't know. It's less of a crapshoot to invest in your own business to learn than to invest in someone else's business, hoping that they can help you learn. And I'm not saying coaching is a bad thing. What I am saying is bouncing from program to program to program to program to program, looking for the next big ticket, looking for the shiny thing, looking for whatever the new method isn't going to be the thing that helps you. What's going to help you is sticking with one method. And if that's with a business coach who has one method and you follow that consistently long-term, that's where you win. Instead of going from one to the other, to the other, to the other, that's what creates chronic inconsistency. And so if you learn one thing and you're not consistent with it, you can't say it's successful or unsuccessful until you've actually battled through it. So I can tell you that I've gone for a year straight practicing one simple method. And each time we get better at it, we simplify it a little more. Each time we simplify it a little more, we do more with it. Then we come back and we simplify it again. But the thing that I figured out that actually makes you successful is doing one thing. So instead of 500 different things, instead of 75 different things, it's doing one simple thing repeated. I'll send you that referral link, PD. Boom. It's the most amazing box in the world. It's like it shows up, you like it, you keep it, you don't, you just put it back and they send you new stuff. But the big thing behind this is whatever you're learning, if you haven't done it for like 60 to 90 days straight and just repeated it over and over and over and over again, and you've every day you can say that you put every effort forward to making it work and to doing it, that's when you can say, okay, I've done this and it doesn't work, or I've done this and it worked, or it didn't make sense. I think the biggest problem that we experience as business owners, and even people out there searching for in the regular world for like diets and stuff, we bounce from thing to thing to thing. In 1 month, you'll go through like 9 different tactics. You look at the ClickFunnels world. It's like in 1 month, someone will have 800 different funnels developed. I have a funnel for a mini course. I have a funnel for this. I have a funnel for that. And they have their ClickFunnels thing cost them like $300 a month because there's 90 funnels in there, but 0 of them are profitable. And that's a big problem, because if you have that many funnels and you really haven't tested them thoroughly, but you're paying for the platinum version of ClickFunnels, you've got a serious issue to get through, because what you're doing is you're focusing on the tech, you're focusing on the shiny objects, you're focusing on what you're being sold and fed that you need, which in reality isn't really what you need. It's what people want you to think you need. So you'll keep buying funnels and buying stuff like that. But in reality, it's pick one thing. It's focus on it. It's test it. It's adjust it. It's modify it. It's look back. Did it work? Did it not work? Why? Let's adjust one thing. Did that work? Cool. Yes. Okay. Move forward. Next thing didn't work. Okay. Why didn't that work? Okay. Let's fix that. Let's do the next thing. It's literally the scientific method. Develop a hypothesis, test your hypothesis, see if it worked. Cool. If it didn't, retest, readjust, reevaluate. And then each time you do it, you build another piece onto the puzzle. So if you're working on a high ticket business, for example, and you're testing a webinar and it doesn't work after the first 50 registrants, well, guess what? You didn't put enough time or money into it. You have to be able to put thousands of people through that thing. Then you test one aspect, then you test another aspect. It's all about paying attention to numbers. It's all about being consistent with your methods and being able to replicate what you're doing or adjust it if something isn't working. And it's like if you're out there messaging people and nothing's working, well, it's time to reevaluate your messaging strategy. If you're out there trying to make networking connections and nobody wants to connect with you, it's time to reevaluate your connecting strategy. So a lot of people will get frustrated with this, and then they'll go find a coach, a guru to jump on with. They'll get on a phone call. The guru will manipulate them around whatever their issue is, and they'll get them in their thing. And it's either nothing new that they're learning, or it's something that completely shoves them off track from what they were actually focusing on and really trying to improve on. So I think what we really have to do in this industry is learn how to focus on simplicity, learn how to avoid shiny object syndrome, learn how to not get manipulated by gurus who do want you to jump into shiny object syndrome, and learn that it's not going to be the technology, it's not going to be the funnel, it's not going to be any of that stuff. It's your ability to be consistent long-term with a simple method. And that usually means doing one thing. If you look at the people at the top who are doing unequivocally and unreasonably well, they're doing one thing usually, and you can kind of map it out. And actually, when you're like looking to work with someone, you can go through their whole thing and say, wow, is this organized? Is it well designed? Is it a good process? Is it a simple process? Are there 800 different things that make it confusing? Because that's really how you can define whether or not someone else has their shit together. Like, is their process simple? Is it replicatable? Could you actually just take what they're doing and literally copy it, and it would probably work? If you could do that, then that person has a clear, specified, and great process that they're using. And it doesn't mean to copy all their stuff. It just means that that person is probably legit and has their shit together because they're following a simplified process, and they've honed it down to a level to where it's no longer madness. It's now a narrow line that they probably put blood, sweat, and tears and hundreds of hours into creating and making it work. So I think a lot of us, I give you 5 ETH for a segment of your hair, and I will give you my hair for 5 ETH. Sold. I'll send you one of those urine vials. I'll just put my little lock of hair in there. I'll send it to you. I'll wrap it in a little bow, and I'll put it in a box with the referral link for the clothing box so you can really enjoy it. But the big thing that I really wanted to get out of this is consistency. That's what wins in this game, the game of business, the game of life. I need to wake up and do the same thing every single day until something doesn't work. Then I try something different and I do that. Did that work? Cool. Keep doing it. Did that not work? Okay, try something else. That's the scientific method. That's all we do. We test, we adjust, we hypothesize, we make something different. We see if it worked, if it didn't, and then we move forward based on the data we collect. And someone said this in a program I was in a while back, and it was like, don't bring the drama, bring the data, not the drama. And the idea is, You have to be able to understand your data. If you don't have your data, you have no business joining another program. You have no business making your own thing work. You need to understand what you're doing. Everything can be quantified with numbers. Like if I'm out there trying to make new connections, I need to have how many people did I connect with? How many people did I talk to? How many people joined my Facebook group? How many people came in with my ads? What is my CTR? What is my CPM? What is my and we get to the point to where like we run ads through Messenger. So people come in through Messenger, and then I have a pixel on the page before anybody even opts in. So I know how many people went from into Messenger. I know how many people landed on the first page. I know how many people opted in. I know how many people watched the video. I know the percentage of people that watched the video. I know how many people went to a phone call. I know how many people purchased. Everything is tracked across the board. And I know percentages of those numbers and metrics at every stage of the journey. And if one of those falls out of line, I know we need to go and adjust that until it comes back up. And it's a continual process of adjusting. It's a continual process of understanding how to grow your business. And same thing on the fulfillment side. What is my client success rate? 90% of people I talk to don't know that. Your client success rate, what do you want to maintain? Well, I want a 97%. Okay. This month it was a 92. What happened to create a gap? Okay, well, this, and this happened. We had staff change or whatever. Okay, well, next month we need to adjust that, plug the hole, bump it back up. So we have a 97% again. Did it work? Yes, cool. No, okay. We now have a bigger problem because we've gone 2 months with an inflection rate that's lower than what it was previously. So the big thing is track everything. Track your numbers, track your progress, track what you're doing. The more you track, the more you know. The more you know, the more you can do. The more you can do, the more you can improve. The more you can improve, the more you can simplify your process, and the more likely it is that you're going to be successful. And if all that sounds like Greek, just wake up and do the same thing every day. Just be consistent every day doing the same thing, and you'll be successful. That's really all it takes. And a lot of people think this is like a magic potion to business, to trying to figure it out. But really, it's just do the same thing every day to achieve consistency. You'll get into a habit. You'll form some reasonable ideas of what's going on. And ultimately, you'll be able to work to improve yourself long term. So let me know if this makes sense. If you guys like this, drop a hell yeah down below if that makes sense to you. If you need help growing and scaling your business, just drop a help down below and I'll see if I can help you. But the big thing here, just drop a consistency down below if you're with me. If you're here to develop consistency and you're tired of shiny object syndrome and you're tired of all these different bells and whistles and you just want to focus on a simplified strategy, just drop a consistency below. Let's commit to being consistent every day in what we need to do. Let's commit to not convincing ourselves that we don't need to do something because it's hard or because we have fear behind it. Because if you convince yourself that you don't need to do something because it's hard, because you don't like it, because it's challenging you, well, you've committed to living in fear. And when you commit to living in fear, you've committed to not allowing yourself to make progress long term. And when you've done that, you've solidified your ability to fail. And if you solidify your ability to fail, now it becomes easy to blame. It becomes easy to blame the world, society, culture, whatever. And that's not the position we should be in. When we see fear, we should put ourselves in a position and a place to embrace fear as the catalyst for your growth, to embrace fear as the fuel for your fire to move forward, and to embrace fear as the thing that holds most people back and prevents them from making progress in their lives, but won't hold you back from making progress that you know you can make. Most people at the end of the day, they regret not taking action. They regret wasting time. They don't regret many other things, but they regret the fear that they lived in that prevented them from being ultimately who they wanted to be and where they wanted to be. So we have two choices in life, and you kind of have to decide, who do I want to be? Do I want to be the person who lives in fear and is driven by the ability to not take action because it's too scary or too challenging? Or do I want to be the person who is driven by fear that is fuel for my fire? And that fear that allows me to move forward and that gives me the edge to move forward. I want to be the 1% of people who can actually do it, or the 99% of people who say, I'll just do it tomorrow. The choice is yours. But let me know, who do you want to be? Do you want to live in fear? Drop a fear down below. Or do you want to be the person who takes action? Drop an action down below, and let's see where everyone is at. That's all I got to say today, though. I am logging off. Oh, PD, I can't have the hair, but maybe the shirts. You could get, we could get you a wig. We could get you hair extensions. There's a lot of different options. There's nothing cooler than being able to go like this with your hair. It's wicked awesome. But that's all I've got to say today. If you guys are watching, drop a hell yeah down below if you agree with what I have to say. And I am going to log off. If you have questions, drop